white before. Once they accept them into white fold, ain't nobody buck against it because they wanted to be on the winning team. That made them a part of the majority now.
Yeah.
So now we're not on the outskirts no more. We in it. We in it, y'all.
Yeah. I don't really hear a lot of pushback from them, like collectively on a grand scale, on a big stage, saying they don't want to be white.
I've never heard that. I've never heard not one person say that. I've heard Jewish people say that they're not white. I've never heard Irish or Italian.
Question for Tierney. She got on the stage. So why do you feel though? Hello, honey.
I'm surprised she even wastes their time talking to ugly guys. You know, we know. I'm surprised Tierney even wastes their time talking to such ugly guys. You
know, Tierney's a baby. She's a
sure. Go ahead, HQ. I'm sorry.
A question. You apparently, I'm going by what you did, what you think. You apparently think mixture of white and black does not make them black. Why do you think that? Or am I wrong?
No, I feel like if you mixed, I feel like you have the option to choose which side you want to be more like. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of mixed people, especially when they're mixed with Caucasian, they choose their white side. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying the ones that's mixed, like how y'all tried to say by Crystal and Raquel, because I had the same dispute as well as Crystal. Mm-hmm. You can say you're mixed all you want. I mean, you're black all you want to. But if you are mixed and you're siding more with your Caucasian side, to me, you have chosen your Caucasian side. And if you're on here as a mixed woman, because that's why I put my profile picture back with my mixed starter. Mm-hmm. If you're on here as a mixed woman, but you're saying black women, you guys are big backs and, you know, it's just fat and, oh my gosh, the black women. But you are a so-called black woman, right? So if you're deciding to split the conversation and talk about the so-called black woman that you say you are, then most likely you're resonating more with your Caucasian side. That's
I don't understand that at all.
I don't get that.
I mean, hold on. Okay. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I kind of understand what you're saying.
Because my daughter's mixed, right?
Because okay. I hate this example. I don't want to do it. Raquel or women like Raquel have white mothers. Mm-hmm. So are you saying because she's raised with a white woman, she cannot criticize black women because she's not a black woman, she's a white woman?
No, I'm saying if most of your criticism is against black people, black women, then that shows the way that your upbringing in that house was. I've seen a lot of mixed women that was raised with white women, white mothers. They themselves have said that their mothers will tell them, you're better than those darker skinned women. They'll tell them, don't go hanging out with them black girls. Okay. And that is not from my opinion. That is literally from things that mixed girls have come up and said. Like I stated, my daughter is mixed, but I have let her know in the black community, mostly black women, and we see that you're mixed, and we're going to listen to what you're saying more. And if you're over there resonating mostly with the Caucasian race or the opposite race, then we're going to automatically place you as the opposite race. But if we can see that you can relate to our struggle more, then we're going to put you, okay, that's a black girl right there. But ain't nobody trying to be friends with no mixed white girl that thinks that she got more white privilege, which she does by default, she does. But you're projecting that on these panels.
So one sec, can I ask a question, Tierney?
Go ahead, Jay. Go.
Say I was adopted from childbirth and I was isolated only to a white community, right? Am I black? I only have a white experience.
Yeah.
Even though I look different. I got hookah shells on.
And you look black, but you
I'm
only
black.
assimilated into black. You black.
But I don't have no connection with the black community.
If you don't have
Am I
What do you
still
mean?
black?
you
What do you
still
mean you have no connection with the black community?
I was adopted by a white family and taken out to freaking Smallville,
right.
and raised with all white people. Went to I was the only chocolate dot in the whole town. All I know is white culture, white community, anything that's involved in that. Am I still black?
You're still a black man. Like, what do you mean? Just because you moved around with
Why, if
No, I
somebody
get it.
is
I got
mixed,
it. I got exactly. I got it. Black
Yeah.
man here said it in the comments right there. He said, when you're half a thing, half black or white, or you don't fully have the black culture down pat, or we're not raised with the black culture down pat, you have to prove yourself to be a real black, or be sympathetic to the real blacks. And when you get on a panel and that's all you do is downgrade black women, we look at you sideways. Am I right?
She don't only downgrade black women.
She
accountable.
That's not really the case.
Holding people accountable for their
No,
actions.
no, that's
they
not.
do is not down talking them.
That's not, because you guys never hold any other race accountable for their sins. You guys,
what are you talking? I just called out
in totality. We're not talking about a sin.
You're lying.
We
you're
call
lying.
black men out all the time.
I just called out White Vicky and
don't jump on the black girl. Don't jump on the black girl.
Now
Okay?
you're playing victim.
I'm not
now you're
talking
playing victim.
about
We're not jumping on you.
Can I finish?
Hold on, y'all. Let me
Thank
finish.
you. Because
I'm not going to allow you to
before
up here
you
and
guys
victim.
was on before you guys was on SB.
Let me finish. This is the problem. It just clicked into my head completely. It clicked in my head. I kind of had that idea, but now I get where Crystal Luna may have come from, and maybe some of where Tierney came from. I get it. You get on a panel, you're on a panel, and you were raised white. You're raised as a white girl because most kids take on the culture of their mother. She's raised, mostly they do. They follow their mother. Their mother is their person. Most of the time, the mother is that child's person. So therefore, they mimic and do things like their mother. Most kids do. Dad has influence, but hold on. Dad has influences, but mostly the kid follows the example of the mother, specifically girls. So when we have a woman who is mixed, who gets on a panel, and now you don't hear positive thing, you don't hear you don't know. I'm saying from the outside, that's all I'm saying. I don't look at it that way. From the outside, all you hear, you get on a panel and you're denigrating black women, fat women, black women, don't matter. And we don't hear positivity things from you. We only hear negative things from you. We feel some type of way. They feel some type of way. I'm saying some people may feel some type of way. So I'm saying this may be where this is coming from, or this may be why there's hostility. Why is there hostility on those women's part? There's got to be a reason for the hostility that comes from Crystal Luna. I'm not saying, wait a minute, hold on. You can feel how you want to feel, but you can't invalidate people's feelings. People feel the way they feel, and that you can't invalidate those. So my whole point is they feel the way they feel. So the whole point is it may not be justified. Hey, look, I don't like white people coming outside with shorts on, but they do it anyway. They still getting. I'm just saying,
right?
How people feel.
HQ.
But I'm just saying, people feel how they feel, and they feel like if you're mixed and you're raised by a white woman, you shouldn't have your ass on a panel denigrating black women, and you're not considered a black woman to some of the women. I'm just saying.
My thing is, Jay, go ahead. I want to get in next. Go ahead.
It ain't my thought. I'm just saying.
Can I please?
I think that's where it is.
You guys are making a huge assumption that her father had nothing to do with her upbringing, and that she only gleaned her culture or her understanding from her mom. Because that's the same thing for
A woman teaches a girl how to be a woman.
Oh, so
right?
you cutting off people too, though.
Okay, but could be correct.
Okay.
A woman teaches a girl how to be a woman.
All right, Tyranny, I got
All
you.
right, Jay.
All right.
Then you jump on them.
So
Let them finish.
you saying my kids don't get anything from me? They don't
We didn't say
understand
anything.
none of this. They don't
anything.
say.
We didn't
But
say
so
anything. We
so
said
you're
the
saying
role
that Raquel is not
both.
allowed to criticize the negative things that we're talking about when we're talking about the Black community. Our culture is driven by our women. The standard for the men in our culture is driven by the women. When women lower their standard, the men's requirements lower. If I can get the cookie easy, I know I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to be this guy anymore. I could be a Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nug Nug because the women accept it. They don't care. So the women in every community drive the culture. If we want to raise the culture in the Black community, our women have to raise their standard. And when we look on social media constantly, day in and day out, and see women behaving the way they do, and I know it sucks, Tyranny, because it sucks for me when I see a Black man acting a certain way or being treated a certain way on television. I know, I understand it sucks because that's us, Tyranny. I understand it. So when you see
Jay, fully Black women do not want to see no half white women on there downgrading Black women.
Look, this is my thing.
Hey, hold on. Let it land.
So are you going to judge? I thought you said you don't judge those people.
I'm not saying me. I'm speaking. I'm articulating what I think it is. That's what it is.
But it don't matter who it is. A person might not be the messenger, but what is the message though? Did they lie? But did they lie?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Are they lying on you? If they're talking about Black women do this, I'm like, that's a broad stroke. You can't say that. But if they say if this is a common thing for this type of person to be doing this, if we see it day in and day out, then we can talk about it, regardless of who the person is.
Let me stop. Tyranny, you speak for yourself. Did I say that correctly?
Did you say what?
Did I say that correctly? Fully Black women don't want to see no half woman who's raised by a white woman on a panel downgrading other Black women, fully Black women. Did I say that correctly?
Well, 45%.
Huh?
I would say 45% sure, because we know what they're being taught in the home is different. We know that there is, what is it called? They're taught that they have certain privilege because of their looks. Look, women like Raquel. We're not talking about Raquel specifically, but women like Raquel do not have to go through colorism at the work industry. She will never not.
Either a woman is fine.
You guys, stop.
I ain't even spoke
yet. She will
yet.
never not get a job because she's too dark. She will never get pulled over by the police and assumed that she will have a bad attitude because of her darker skin complexion. She can say all she wants that she's mixed with Black, sure. But there are certain things that she will not have to go through because of her skin tone. So when we see that, and then we see and hear, sure, you can criticize the one half of you, but do you come on panels criticizing the other? Do you come on panels criticizing the white culture? No.
We don't talk about that white
but
culture.
That's
we
the
talk
thing.
about our
if
culture.
You're going to criticize women, you criticize women. You don't.
But she speaks on the topics we're talking about.
You don't only stick to one half of the spectrum, especially if you have experience from both halves. Because she has a Caucasian mother, which I didn't know that. You guys expressed that now. She has a Caucasian mother. She has a Caucasian aunt. She has a Caucasian grandmother. So you meaning to tell me that none of your Caucasian family is ratchet too? You mean to tell me that
HQ on the Regal Rumble, was there not a white lady that the SBC brought up on the thing that they were talking about? She had that big old mole on her face.
How many years? And if you're telling me about one example, like, Stop, bro.
I'm saying that when a white woman is up on there, Beckisha, they call her, they talk about it as well. Whoever is the person under the topic, that's what they're talking about. They have HQ and Raquel up there to discuss the person on the screen. If it's predominantly black women, she's going to talk about them.
HQ is a middle ground person.
HQ is not a middle ground person.
Me and Crystal are pro black. We're black power straight up.
Wait a minute, Crystal is a pro black. Oh my goodness.
Peace, family. May I get in?
Hold on. We have a person that says they're mulatto.
He's very controversial. So,
I don't care. It don't matter.
Peace, family.
So, question, sir. What do you have to add to the conversation as far as mulatto?
Yes, and it'll be brief. You'll notice that Tyranny, and I say this with love, she is not mulatto, but somehow she is able to tell mulattoes what we do and do not go through. Just as she says that we as mulattoes should not speak on the black experience, how can she as a black fix her mouth to say what mulattoes go through? And my point is, to land my plane, to keep it brief as possible, anyone has a right to criticize anyone. So if we as mulattoes, especially since we have black ancestry and white ancestry, we as mulattoes, we have a right to criticize and make assessments on the black community.
And the white community. But y'all never talk about your caucus. You only talk about the black race, and I have the right to talk about a mulatto because I'm raising mulattoes. What are we talking about? Y'all never talk about white people.
Well, actually, one mic at a time. You could literally go to my page, and you'll see not only do I criticize the whites, actually, professionally, I'm a lobbyist, and I have challenged not just Republicans, but also Democrats on policies that have an adverse effect on the Black American community as well as the mulatto American community. So, with all due respect, you don't know who you're talking to. Respectfully.
Okay, like I said, I'm raising mixed children. And like Project Leroy said, criticize, but y'all are not part of the solution. Y'all never have, it's always the black people this and the black people that. But you never say what your white people can do to help your so-called black community.
Now, Tyranny, with all due respect, now you just brought up your children. I did not bring up your children, and I won't speak on your children negatively. My question is, do you tell your mixed race children that they don't have no input on the black community and that they need to stay in their place?
Children know that they are mixed. So you cannot walk into the black culture and just start criticizing black people because you are mixed. Because you can't do that. You'll get beat up. You can.
Whoa. Well, number one, hold on. You need to teach your kids how to defend themselves as mulattoes. Number one, we will not be threatened as mulattoes. We won't allow the blacks or the whites to threaten us, really. And the point is this. Your mulatto children, your mixed race children, pardon me if you don't agree with the terminology mulatto, they have a right to criticize the community that they are a part of, just as the blacks have a right to criticize mulattoes if they feel like we're doing something that does not benefit them.
Yes, but I'm telling my daughter, you're going to get your ass whooped if you walk over there to black women and you start criticizing them and you calling yourself black. That's just, what it is.
Are you saying that black women have a right to whip your mulatto daughter's asses? Is that what you teaching?
Because she's looked at as not a full black woman.
It don't matter what she looks like as. I'm asking a question.
By the black community. By the black community.
I say this for the record. Your daughters have a right to whip them black women's asses if they attack her. That's a fact.
Ain't nobody talking about self-defense. I'm just letting her know, be prepared that if you walk into a group of black women, all black, and you start saying, yeah, them black bitches this and them black bitches that, they gonna look at her like, who the fuck you talking about? Because you mixed, you're not one of us. It is.
And listen, we're not claiming
that would be just disrespectful, though. Why would she go into a group of black women and start calling them bees? Why would she go into a group of black women and start calling them bees?
Hold on, but one mic at a time because
our point, Jay. Hold on, Pierre.
Go ahead, Tyranny.
Go ahead. Exactly our point. Why would you go on to SBC?
That's not criticizing them. That's disrespecting them.
Hold on, but y'all speaking past it. Y'all speaking past the point.
Hold on, let Tyranny finish.
That's exactly.
All right, please let me go after her. Go ahead, Tyranny.
Okay, I'm sorry, mulatto. But that's exactly what we're saying, Jay. Like you said it yourself. Why would you go on a group of all black panel and as a mixed woman that don't even look like it?
No,
And
you
now
moving the
you're just
goalpost.
criticizing. Come
You're
on, and
moving
but
the goalpost.
hey, we'll take the criticism, Jay and mulatto and triple. We'll take it. But we better hear you criticizing your other half too.
But is she lying though?
Well, hold on. Well, that part is
Is
she
the
lying? And then
criticism
number two,
warranted?
let's not speed past the threat of violence that a lot of mulattoes experience if we speak out
Exactly.
against the blacks or the whites. Listen, we as mulattoes, we're not afraid. We will not be threatened off our square. We will speak on the truth and we will defend ourselves
But
with
you
our
don't give
lives
the
if it takes it. If
but you
that's what it
don't give the
takes.
truth about your caucus people. Do y'all hear what I'm
Hold on,
saying?
why you keep
How do
repeating
you
that lie
know
though?
that? Why do
Yeah,
you
why you
keep
keep
saying
repeating
that
that
when
lie?
you don't know? Are you in those
I have
spaces?
never seen
Are you
a
in
mixed
those
race man
spaces?
go
Well,
on
let's
a
give
panel
examples.
of
Hold on,
Caucasian
let's
people
give
and
examples.
start downing Caucasian people
What
because
Tara,
they know better.
Carolyn, let me give you some examples. You had Huey P. Newton, that was a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Malcolm X, that was a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Frederick Douglass, that was a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Angela Davis, that's a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Rosa Parks, that's a mulatto that stood up against the whites. You had Nat Turner, that's a mulatto
I
that
don't
stood
know
up
why
against
you
the
calling
whites.
all of these people mixed. So honestly, what you just said is completely
The
debunked.
DNA don't lie.
Because
The
you just
DNA don't lie.
and now you
The
know these
DNA
people
does
so
not
called.
lie.
So what you just said is absolutely debunked. But
Yeah, but
like I stated, especially if you don't look the part, bro. Sorry, this world goes by looks. Y'all know that. That's why I said mixed. A lot of mixed women that look like Raquel and my daughter, they're not going to go through the black woman experience. Period.
Yeah, but they're
I
gonna
don't,
tyranny. You don't
because of
understand
my
the
name,
mixed.
because of the color of my skin, because of how I speak, because of where I'm from, I have been judged off of that. But when you have
Okay.
women that do not look like us, that do not, their mom taught them how to speak more proper like this, they are going to go through a different experience than us. So you
Yeah.
have to tread lightly.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And
I
they are
mean,
going through a
listen,
different experience because they get it from both sides. You
what
ever think you ever if you got a white mom or white dad and a black mom or black dad or whatever, and you're mixed, and all the time you got to find your identity. Because if you tend to like certain, if you like a little bit of rock, oh, you more white. Or if you black, or are you ain't black enough because you're
And
too
what
light skinned, your
and with
hair's
all due
too
respect,
straight. So tyranny, they're getting it from both sides
you're
of
right.
unacceptance.
oh
You're
hold on,
It
right.
has
but
nothing to
please,
do with them
I
being
would
dark skinned and getting pulled over in the car because somebody might think they have an attitude.
I
They're
would
Yes.
like
getting
to
it
correct
from
the
both
record though,
sides.
please. I would like to correct the record. Literally, I just named a number of mulattoes that stood up against the whites, and tyranny said that I was lying. With all due respect, are you able to articulate which one of those people that I just named was not a mulatto?
I'm going to say all of them because I haven't heard of one of them actually being mixed with Caucasian. So
Well, let's go
until
one
I
step
know,
at a time. So you
until
saying
I
Malcolm X
know
Malcolm
was
this,
X?
called red because he had red hair.
hold on. Here's a question. Here's
you
a question.
know,
Here's
so
Yeah, like every step.
a question. Here's a question.
All right,
So are
I
you
gotta go
saying?
HQ. I gotta go
So
pick up my daughter.
okay, thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay.
I don't want
Thank
to
you.
bow. I'm gonna try to get back quick. I'm gonna
boo.
try to get back
Yeah,
quick.
bring your butt back.
So the question I have is, mulatto, you consider yourself mixed. So do you, and you say you speak on both sides of the panel. You criticize and praise both sides, right? Okay. So you don't look at a person, you don't look at a mulatto person as better than black people or better than white people. If you had a choice, which one would you be, black or white?
I would be a mulatto. I love myself. I love what I am.
Okay. Or maybe it's because you have no. See, here's the thing I have. If you choose to come over on the black side, you choose to come over on the black side. Let's take, for example, the lady that was in the movie Sinners, the white lady or the mixed lady that was in Sinners. She was mixed. She could pass. My question is this: if you could pass, would you still pick black, or would you
With
pick
all due
white?
respect,
My
with all
whole
due
point is,
respect,
hold on,
I'm
hold
trying to
on,
answer
hold
your.
on, hold
Well,
on.
I thought you
My
asked me a
point is
question.
this. My point is this. Most don't have the choice. So are they just picking coming over as black because it's just a default? They can't do nothing but be black? Or is it an absolute choice? Because if you look at Raquel can choose to either be black or mixed. I'm saying, in look wise, I can look at her and I can say she could pass for white if she wanted to.
You think she could pass?
What was it? The question in there? I'm
No, wait a
confused.
minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
So that's my whole thing. Yeah, now that we know she's mixed, but if you would have saw her on the street, you probably would have thought she looks black. She looks white. Well, to me, she looks like she could pass. If she did certain things, she could probably pass. And that's the only way I have issue with it. If you have the choice to jump from back and forth and you choose to come over on the black side, okay, cool. But don't you stay on this side. Don't jump from one to the other and then get over and then criticize on the black side. But then you get over on the other side and then it's like, I don't know none of the black stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I'm saying this may be an issue some way, somehow. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, she looks unambiguous. You could say but I don't see a white woman when I see her.
Because she said she's black, but if she would have said,
even if she did not say it, and I seen her out somewhere, I don't see a white woman. I mean, to me, clearly she's not white.
I would never have thought she was black.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's an absolute HQ, but to me, I don't see a white woman like when I see her. I look at somebody like Jennifer Lawrence or Carmen Electra. That's a white woman. She don't look quite like that. I mean,
no, you could say quite. Not quite.
Yeah, but she don't look white. Either she look white or not. She does not look like those girls.
To me, I'm saying to me. To you, it's a different story.
Yeah. If she looks like that to you, that's fine. It's something else I want to address.
She told me it was so I see it. So I see it in her because she told me she was.
Yeah, so it's influence, but I wouldn't see her if I was hanging out and be like, "That's a white girl." That's not me. But I want to say something about Tyranny though. Right. Like what she's saying, what I mentioned earlier when I seen her and Crystal on the panel, and they was debating back and forth, going back and forth. Mm-hmm. She clearly stated she was a black woman. That was her position. She didn't say I'm a mixed girl or whatever. She said I'm a black woman because that was the direct question that was asked by Crystal. She asked her, "Are you a black woman?" And she said, "Yeah." Yeah, that's what was said. Now, of course, I can't speak for her. She has to come up here another day or whenever she sees this, and she can elaborate more on that. Yeah, but
if she don't want to, my whole thing is this.
All right.
My whole thing is that I'm playing the devil's advocate. It's not how I think. The devil's advocate. So I'm saying because to me, she could pass. That's just me.
Can you name another white woman that looks exactly like Raquel that we can use as a frame of reference? Name three.
There are a lot of celebrity women that look like her, and you wouldn't even know.
White women, celebrity white
women.
Brittany,
that lady named Brittany. That lady named Brittany who scammed all those men out of. Brittany, the lady who scammed all the black athletes out of their money. That Brittany chick.
Brittany is mixed. She's not.
That's what we're saying. Brittany.
Girl. That's
about Brittany Renner.
Well, and the point is, and I've been trying to get it.
Mariah Carey too. I'm saying
Mariah's mixed.
So is Raquel.
That's what we're saying. These people are mixed.
Well, the point. Said, can you name another absolute white woman that's not mixed that looks like Raquel? Is the question. I said white woman. If you say Jennifer Lawrence, Jessica Alba, any of those. Like, what are we talking about? It's tons of white women out there. Katie Holmes, those are white girls.
Those are some example of white girls. They are not the white girl complete look. Like,
can you name some white girls?
I don't care white women faces like that to be like.
All right.
But what's the purpose of the question? Because regardless, a mulatto is a mulatto, bro.
Yes,
we're not black or white.
Right. I'm just
Right. Go
saying.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
I can
saying.
see.
I'm saying to me, she may look a different way, but that's okay. I'm saying this is maybe why there's an issue with the panel thing because of that. I'm just saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I'm saying everybody was saying, well, we can't be SBA and we all black folk ain't the same and blah blah blah. Do y'all make distinctions when they're mixed? Do we make distinctions when people are mixed? Or we don't make distinctions when people are mixed? Or do we just say, oh, okay, they're mixed and they come on our side? Because if you're gonna make a distinction between the what is that? African American, the Africans that come over here, then you can also make a case for the mulatto people who are raised by white people or raised with a white mother. You can still make that case. Yes or no?
Yes, we're different. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Mulattoes are not the same as blacks, just like we're not the same as whites.
I'm so glad you said that. So now you understand where we're coming from. When you just admitted that you're different, you're not the same as blacks, and then you come on a black panel degrading blacks. What are we talking about?
Who
That's
did
what I'm
I
saying.
degrade?
You do
Hold
know
on, hold on,
that's
hold on, hold on.
his
Let me
position
respond to
though.
her. Let me respond to her.
You did say that.
Who did I
You did say
degrade
that.
respectfully?
What? Malala, we're not talking about you. We're not. We were talking about mixed women.
Well, you said you, so I mean, you gotta speak clearly
You
with all due
as in
respect.
your
You
people, your kind, you people,
So have
you,
blacks?
you're
With all due
mixed
respect,
people.
I heard you. Let me respond. Watch how brief my response is. Actually, we can play that game both ways. Have blacks not disrespected mulattoes? Even on this panel, you told us what mulattoes went through and what we don't go through, even though you're not a mulatto, right?
Yeah. It only becomes disrespectful. We only become disrespectful to y'all when you come and when you come on these. I feel like I'm repeating myself, bro. When you come on these panels and you're only downing black people.
But that's the point. Who
Okay,
on this panel disrespected black people?
we're not talking. We're just having speaking in general, right? I mean, we're not
But you
talking
did
about
it
just
on this, and I'm
plural.
not, I'm
not
not upset about it. And that's the point right there. You see that when blacks criticize mulattoes, I don't get in my feelings. But when mulattoes criticize blacks, y'all start whining and crying about it.
But how do we criticize you when you literally just admitted that mulattoes are not blacks? You literally just. So how are we
Well,
criticizing
no, no,
y'all
you're
when we
not.
say
You
you
have
ain't black?
selective. With all due respect, you have selective comprehension. The way you
Okay, well,
degraded
it's
the
not no.
mulattoes
There's
is
no
when you brought
due
up.
respect because that's
My
disrespectful.
God.
But you literally just admitted that mulattoes are not blacks. Am I wrong? Didn't you just say that?
Yes, we're not the same. We're not the same.
Okay, and when blacks say you guys are not the same, how is that us disrespecting you? We're
No, I didn't
agreeing.
say. I didn't.
a minute.
No, I didn't
Hold
say
on,
that. That
hold
was.
on, hold
I
on,
didn't say
hold
that.
on,
That was
hold
a
on.
disrespect.
Hold on. Mulatto, why are you not the same?
Because we are genetically different. We have Caucasian ancestry. That makes us different biologically. Just like a coffee is not the same as a latte. A latte has milk in it. With all due respect.
Mm.
Okay.
So you still consider yourself black or you don't consider yourself black?
With all due respect, my name is Pan Mulattoism. I'm a mulatto, first and foremost.
No. You said one drop of chocolate, one drop of milk in it don't make you black. So you don't consider yourself black. You just consider
Well,
yourself
I
mixed.
said it more than once. What I said was a latte is not the same as black coffee. The latte has milk in it. The mulatto has European ancestry. The black does not.
Mm,
Mm.
okay, so you're different. So you're not a black
Yes.
person. You're
I'm not
different.
black.
Okay. All right. You're not a black.
Okay.
He said that. I don't have selective comprehension. I'm just trying to understand exactly what he means. He says he's not black. He says he's mixed. Okay.
Yes.
Fine and
Yes.
dandy.
Yes.
So
And
so
the
all,
reason, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The reason that this is very important is because if I was to sit here, I'm black and I'm black and I'm black and I'm black, the mulatto youth that hear this, they may think that they are also black. And when they go out into the real world, the actual blacks will say, no, you're not one of us. It instills an identity crisis in the mulatto youth if I tell mulattoes that they are black. No, we're not black. We're mulatto. Just like we're not white.
See, this is why I like mulatto, even though he get on everybody's nerves. So, do you think that is disingenuous when a mixed person comes on here and they're talking down on the black culture as if they are black, but really they're a mulatto and they know that internally?
And I want to respond to you directly, and it'll be brief. It's always disingenuous anytime a mulatto pretends to be black or white. Always. But mulattoes have a right to criticize the blacks and the whites,
Sure.
undoubtedly.
Sure. Agreed.
Mm,
Agreed.
mm. Okay. So when they get arrested and you get arrested, somebody said when you get arrested, does that make you? Do they care whether you mulatto or black? They don't care whether you mulatto or black.
Well,
One
the
drop.
person that asked that may not have been arrested before. I unfortunately have. And
Mhm.
they asked you, what is your racial background? You have a right to say other and write in mulatto. You
Mm.
don't have to choose to be
Oh.
black or white.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Then that works. Okay. So he's mulatto. He's not black or white. He's mulatto. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Mm. So you can talk on this topic. So my whole point is it, and Ray and Tierney can speak on this. So you just said, are you going to teach your children, because you have children that are mixed and children that are not mixed? Are you going to teach them that they're mixed, or are you going to teach them that they're just black, right along with the other black children that you have? Or I'm not sure whether you have other children that are completely black. I'm
You
not
talking
sure.
to me or
You,
mulatto?
to you, yes. You.
Yes, I have had this conversation with my oldest son, and I have let him know, your brother looks different than you, and he is going to go through things that are different than you.
Mhm.
So yeah, I absolutely have these real life conversations with my kids. They'll even ask mommy, why is his hair different? What am I supposed to say? I mean, the truth is the truth, because you guys are mixed and he is not.
Mhm.
So yes,
Okay.
yes, I let them know it's going to be a cultural difference with them.
Mhm. Mhm. So did you get that same conditioning when you were growing up, Pan?
Well, thank God both of my parents are mulattoes. So, I didn't really have with all due respect, I didn't have the identity crisis of, am I black? Am I not? Am I white? Both of my parents were mulattoes. They look just like me. So, I
Mm.
was fortunate. I was blessed in that regard.
Mhm. Oh, okay. So you didn't have any change in it. See, that's the difference. We don't get to choose. But here's the thing: if it would be different if you got to choose. But maybe you're too dark to choose. I don't know. The whole point is I accept people who they say they are. If you say you're black, you got black in you, or you're mixed, I accept you for who you are, because I don't care one way or the other. I know what I am. I'm black. I have no mixture or anything like that, right? So my thing is, we just have an issue with, how do we accept all black people? Do we accept all black people? Do we accept the African people? Do we distinguish between all of this, that, and the third? I don't believe we can distinguish between that, and the third. I think we all come under the same one drop rule, because folks in this country don't care whether you mixed or whether you're mulatto, whether you whatever. They call you black. Light skinned black, they don't say light skinned black, they just say black. So
But
I just take it as you black.
but internally they know there's a difference. Issue, can I address a couple of things?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
for one, Rain, first off, nobody's speaking on anyone negatively because they're beautiful or intelligent or respectful. Look, we don't do that jealousy stuff. Okay. I've seen a lot of beautiful mixed women, white women, black women, Mexican women. So that has nothing to do with it. Just stick to the topic. As far as my kids going their separate way, my children adore me because I'm honest with them. And and a lot of parents need to be more honest with their children so they can prepare them for the real world. Don't just prepare them to live up in your house, because they're not going to forever be under your roof. You have to prepare them for what's really out there. And my children respect that mommy is letting them know one of you guys or two of you guys are mixed, and the others, you guys are not. So you are going to go through different experiences. So when you're in the car and you're driving, Ian, you might get treated better because your brother is darker complex than you. That's just a real life conversation. And then
Mm,
last, and nobody kicked me off their panel. I'm not going to deal with a black man or a mixed woman talking down on the black race and have nothing positive to say about it. That's all.
Okay. Triple X. Yeah, you guys, I ain't seen no cash apps. I ain't seen no super chats or anything like that. Did I get the likes? Did I get the likes that I wanted? Yeah, the likes are free. You can do the likes. Did everybody on the panel do the likes? Please and thank you. We need more likes. We need more likes.
Right. And Rain, yes, she did. The first time I met Raquel, she came up on the panel insulting. She came on the panel insulting my husband. She insulted my marriage. The first time she came on the panel, she asked about my children. Look, we can stick to the conversation. That's why you guys asked me to come on the panel. Let's talk about the conversation. But when you have to start questioning where's my husband and questioning my children, that's when it's a problem. So go ahead. What was you about to say?
Triple X.
I was gonna say, I believe HQ said Triple X can speak, and then you jumped in, Tyranny. That's what
I got one husband, and it's not you. Don't come try to correct me. What was you about to say?
I'm talking about what HQ said.
Anyway,
yeah.
Paul.
What? Hey, listen. Let me say this. My whole thing is, not every mixed person is going to have pan mulattoism's perspective. Right. Some will say they're mixed. Hey, HQ, how about this? Remember the last time I was up here and we was having a conversation, and I said to you, I date mixed girls every now and then, and I told you my line of questioning and how I approach that. You remember what I said? What did I say?
Wait a minute. I don't know. We were talking about sexual things.
Okay, no, it wasn't sexual. It wasn't sexual.
Okay, then I don't remember it.
All right, but you remember we had that conversation, right?
Yeah, you dated.
Okay, what I said is what I find out early on. If she is a mixed girl, does she consider herself to be a black woman? What is her thoughts and her psychological input and perspective on that? And judging by how she responds to that question is how I proceed, and I know what I'm dealing with, you know, and I decide on how I'm going to play that, you know. So, right, I know a lot of mixed people. A lot of them have, like, some people talk just like him, where they're like, "Hey, I'm mixed, you know. That's what I am. I'm biracial. I'm not black." That's what it is, and that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. And then a lot of them will be like, "I'm black," you know. I'm black. Period. So,
do you think mixed people got a right to be pro-black?
Yeah, that mixed person can be pro-black. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, if that's the perspective that they're playing and they're clinging to. Now, you can't. If you're gonna come out and say that, you can't jump back and forth. You know. You have to come out, you have to claim that, and that's what it has to be. You know, if I see somebody jumping back and forth, I'm not going to take that person serious.
And with all due respect, if I see a mulatto that's pro-black and then they take a step back, or I would say take a step forward and transition into pan-mulattoism, actually, that's them waking up. That's a great thing. So with all due respect to you, no, a mulatto has a right to change their mind. A mulatto can be pro-black and change their mind into being pro-mulatto, pro
They're free
themselves.
to do what they want, man. You know,
of course.
I mean, they can go drive, they can go run in traffic on the freeway, man. Respectfully, you know, if that's what they want to do, you know. But I'm just simply saying, I know how to move with them.
Well, that's the point right there. With all due respect, and you see, I didn't get triggered by that slight little jab about mulattoes running in traffic, but I had to say this.
No, because it wasn't directed at you. We talking about people in general.
I know, but let's have a dialogue. Yeah. Actually, let's have a dialogue. Actually, in reality, it's the blacks that are running into traffic, because as we and you are speaking right now, the Hispanics, the Asians, the other immigrants are taking over the black communities. If we go to your community, for instance, if you live in a black,
taking over, they've already came in and Vini say.
So that means you're already in the traffic, playing in traffic, right?
Yeah, but the reality is, we're aware of. Listen, we are aware of what's going on,
Okay,
And
but what are you
and
doing
we
about it
need
though?
listen, we need enough people on board. We were talking about this before you came up here, brother. Hold on.
Hmm.
We were talking about this. We need we need honestly, we need an honest plan put together so we can start to combat these things and make moves. Okay?
And I hear you.
Collectively.
And let
Okay?
me just say
Jay
one
wants
more
to
All
sentence.
meet
right.
Let me one
HQ.
sentence. Let me just say one sentence.
Jay wants to meet.
I hear you in theory, but in reality, blacks and whites are making more mulattoes every day.
I don't have a problem with mixed people. If I had a problem with mixed people, I would never interact with them. I would never date them. Like
Well, no, you
what are we
can't.
talking about?
The future generations of your family will be mulattoes, so you cannot have a problem with us. You'll be fighting against nature.
I never had a problem before. I've been around mixed people
Wait a minute, I
my
think you
whole
have
life,
that.
man.
I
My
think
whole
that's
life. What are we
completely.
talking about, man?
Wait a minute, I don't think so. You say mulatto, the future is going to be mulatto. I don't think so. We're not moving in numbers like that, where they would take over all the black continent. We not your mixed
We
people.
are mixed in
Mixed
HQ.
people who are mixed and white people and whatnot are not mixing to the point where they would take over, and we would not have all pure black people. That's just
Hey,
not
Q,
because
and I
you
hear
know
your point, but can I give
because
you one example? Can I
hold
give you
on,
one
hold
example?
on, hold on, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on, because our numbers do not support what you're saying. We're not, so our numbers are not supporting that. What is that at a 5 or 6%? It would take centuries before mulattoes would overrun us black folk. That's not how that goes. You have too
Well, let
many
me give you an
people.
example.
You have too many people,
Uh
and
huh.
we marry black people, mostly marry black people, and it's a very small percentage of black people that are married to white people or have children with mixed with white people or any kind of mixture like that. It's a very low number. So them overtaking us is not
Uh
going
huh.
to happen for centuries at a time. It's
You're
not
right.
going to be like
But
that.
let me give you one example. Let me give you one example. Do you know that North Africa actually used to be black, but is majority mulatto now? The same is happening in sub-Saharan Africa as we speak. So yes, it may take centuries. I think it may take less than centuries, but the majority of black families will be succeeded by mulattoes. Your great great grandkids, they will be mulattoes. It's inevitable. It's a part of evolution.
Hey Pan, do you know that there's no such thing as pure now? A lot of people don't even know what they have in them. If you get your DNA test, like what's the standard for mulatto? Is it 50-50? Is it multi? Could you be like Mexican, black and white? Like what's the qualifications for mulatto? Because it's like it sounds like you're coming from like a real extremist
Yeah, well,
standpoint.
let me answer that. It'll be a brief answer. Now, I agree that most blacks in the diaspora are racially mixed, technically mulattoes. I agree with that. But there are people in sub-Saharan Africa and Central Africa, when they take a DNA test, they are 100% African. So they are still pure black people on earth. But I agree the numbers are rapidly decreasing. Definitely.
Location. I mean, yeah, you can be northern, southern, western, eastern African and still be but that like none of us we're all human. None of us like it's all semantics, man.
Oh Lord, we're
I,
all
I, under, I understand where you're coming from, protecting that your origin, your origin story, but none of us are completely anything. So I mean,
Well, can I ask you a question? And this is about race, but I'll give you a metaphor that we are less emotionally attached to. Now, a Shih Tzu and a Poodle and a Pit Bull, they are all dogs. They are the same species, but they are different breeds. Just
Mm-hmm.
like in humans,
yeah,
you
Mm-hmm.
but we're
have
not. You
with
can't do that. You can't do that.
brother.
It's
That's
not
an
the same.
accurate. But listen to what I'm saying, brother. That's the most accurate comparison I can give you. When we look at cats, you could take a lion and a cougar. Both of them are cats. They're the same species, but they are different breeds. Now, when we translate that to humans, yes, you have sub-Saharan Africans, you have East Asians, and you have Northwestern Europeans. Within the same species, they are all human beings, but they are different breeds. They are different races. Over time, these different breeds of humans are coalescing into one mixed race multitude. Even the Bible, and I'm not religious, even the Bible speaks of the mixed multitude. It's inevitable, my brother.
Yeah, but it's not everybody out there not gonna be a poodle shih tzu though. So
No, you're not
it's
listening,
like
brother.
as
No,
long
you're
as
not listening.
we still gonna always have Dobermans, we still gonna always have
Uh-huh.
Rottweilers, we still gonna always have Chihuahuas.
Can I
So
tell you the
like
difference?
HQ was saying, it's still gonna always be just African people. It's still just gonna always be Latinos. It's
And
not gonna
brother,
be just all
are you
mulatto,
preaching
man.
or can we have a dialogue? Because I
I was
got your point.
talking
Can I
though.
respond to it?
I was
What you
talking though.
mean. I think what you mean, mulatto,
All
is
right.
that we're gonna have some kind of mixture somewhere. Somebody's gonna have 2/4 white, 1 drop white, 1 drop mulatto, 1 drop African. But it's
Exactly.
yes. So, but we still gonna be a pure version. There's no pure. It's still gonna be pure versions of those people.
No, I'm saying that the pure races will be a minority at that point in
No,
time.
no.
And well, brother, please stop cutting me off. I'm trying to respond to the analogy you made about the different dogs. Now, do you know the difference between the different dog breeds and the human breeds? The difference is mass human migration. In order for us to mix all the Shih Tzus and Poodles together, that would take people bringing their dogs from all around the world into one place. But with humans, we're doing that naturally. We're doing that organically, brother. Look at the chain of migration from all over the world into the U.S. and that's just one country. Look at the chain of migration into Europe and South America and the Middle East and into sub-Saharan Africa, brother.
Okay.
Naturally, human beings are coming together, and you know what happens when we come together? We have, with all due respect, we fornicate with each other, we procreate with each other. So it's unavoidable, brother.
I get that, but there's a thing that we have that dogs don't have. If you put a whole bunch of dogs, male and females, in a pen, the dogs is going to mate. We have different cultures. A lot of cultures don't allow us to integrate like we would.
Brother,
Even
are you
when
living the
even when they're around each other. Come on, man. There's a lot of people that live close proximity to each other that will never integrate with each other.
Well, brother, that's why I gave you the example, the greatest
On
example of
mass.
North
It's not
Africa.
going to happen.
Well, brother, with all due respect, you're in denial. But just look at North Africa as an example. You agree that North Africa used to be majority black, correct?
It was Middle Eastern to me. It was Northern
No,
Africa.
that's not what I asked you. North Africa used to be majority black. Are you aware of this?
As far as I know, the world used to be majority black until
Okay,
Pangea separated.
and I'm glad you said that. Now, what happened to where as though North Africa is no longer majority black?
Migration.
Exactly. Checkmate.
Migration.
How is that? How is that checkmate?
That's checkmate.
How is that checkmate?
He always checkmate.
That's one part of the planet.
Yeah,
brother, the same.
I'm trying to figure out what's the point. Of course,
I don't know.
Exactly.
And
I can tell
13% of a population in America. I mean, no, like millennia. HQ,
brother. With all due respect, I can tell you, elevator don't go all the way up. Let me respond to the host with all due respect, because I named North Africa as an example.
Who's
I
your
could have said,
today?
brother, please, brother.
HQ,
I could have
who's
said,
your co-host today, HQ?
Jay.
all right, please, let's not get emotional. Now I named North Africa, but I could have said,
time out, fam. Don't do that. Don't do that.
well, brother, you're being emotional, brother. Can we get back to the topic?
You came in a little bit later, so you weren't aware that today's topic was my topic that I brought up.
All right, so let's discuss the topic. Now I said North Africa. I could have said Central
honestly,
America.
what you're doing is you're taking us down a rabbit hole of something that we
This
don't
is not a
even
rabbit
wanna
hole,
go
brother.
into. It is a rabbit hole because
you're
it's
afraid
not
of this
the topics
mirror.
that I brought up.
You're afraid of the mirror right now,
Look in your
brother.
private chat. Look in your private chat to the right. Can you see those numbers on the right with the words that I posted?
Exactly. So let's have a dialogue about the words you posted.
Wait a minute.
Let's have a dialogue about the words you posted.
Hold on. Why are you telling us that the world is going to be mixed? Wait a minute. Hold on. Why are you telling us that the world is going to be mixed millennia from now when that doesn't matter right now?
Yes, and I'm speaking about the future of your.
Hold on.
I'm trying to answer that.
Hold on. It won't make a difference to you or your grandchildren or my grandchildren. Why do we even need to discuss that particular possibility? Because it's never going to happen in our lifetime where it overtakes being mixed will overtake Africanism, white, it's never going to overtake it in our lifetime. So
You want me to
therefore,
answer that?
that's just
Oh,
like
all right.
me trying to address hillbillies. I'm never going to be a hillbilly. So therefore, that's not going to be a part of the conversation. Just like what you're saying can't be a part of the conversation because it's never going to happen in our lifetime. And there's nothing we can do to change it or change the trajectory. There's nothing we can do about that. Of course, we have mixed people. Of course, they're going to grow in numbers. Of course, that's going to happen. What is your point in continuing to mention that? There's no point in you mentioning that.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to answer that. Oh, all
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
Watch how brief my answer is, because I'm not here to preach. When we speak about the mulatto global majority, we're speaking about the future generations of your family. Or, in other words, this divide that exists between mulattoes and blacks today is arbitrary. And I feel like once the blacks realize that their great 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 grandkids, maybe their grandkids will be mulattoes, there will be less hatred and venom and animosity towards the mulattoes. With all due respect.
I have mixed kids. My wife is white.
What?
Much love to your mulatto family, brother.
I mean, but I don't see what
Wow.
he is saying wrong because, like, I mean, I don't see what he's saying is wrong. Jay said
Well,
we're
it's
all
all
human, but like
there's
Mulatto said, yes, just like all the other animals, they're all animals, but there's mixed breeds of each animal. I mean, and then we're all mixing. I mean, and then the question is, are you really for black people? Okay, so like you guys said, if Mulatto just admitted that if you're mixed and you got that mind frame that you're both, you kind of being disingenuous when you come on a panel and saying I'm black, because really you're both and you have both within you. So if we grow and
Exactly.
then 20 years later, if we get 20 years later from now, right, when our children, Jay and our children get older, um they're going to have this, how can they be straight pro black if they're both? I mean, this, it is an interesting conversation, and like, and what HQ said is, how does we fix it? Maybe we should just stop mixing. Now, I told y'all I'm pro segregation anyway. I think we need to go back how we were so we can build up our community. But if we keep mixing, we're not building up our community. We're spreading it out, which is weakening it. So I mean, I don't see
Tyranny,
nothing wrong with what
tyranny,
he
there's
said.
about 1,000 more issues we need to worry about before we worry about the small portion of people mixed racing. There's a
We're all mixed
thousand
racing.
more things. I'm talking about within the black community. There's
Mhm.
about 1,000 more issues we need to address before we even get to people going outside of the race.
But how can we build up each other if we're bringing in everybody else? Honestly, I was outstanding to know that Asians and black people were mixing. We're two
Yes.
completely
Yes.
different cultures.
Wherever
no
there's
they
military, you're gonna get
what?
that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know what
okay.
you're talking about. I see
In
it all the time.
Africa, the Chinese, I
And
think the
Chinese is
Chinese have
all over in Africa
all
and
over in
Japanese.
Africa, and you're
Well,
gonna pick
at first that
off of
started off as business, so, but I didn't know they were mixing their children. The people were
Well,
having sex and having
like
children
like
down there.
Ann
Honestly,
hey,
said, when they get around,
look, whenever there's D and P in the
oh my
vicinity,
god.
whenever there's D and P, it don't matter what color they are. Proximity is the
California.
name of the game. That is
But do
it.
you see how that could be dangerous to our community? That's why their people don't like it either. That's why their families is like, no, you need to stick with your own, because it's diluting the coffee. It's
But tyranny,
diluting the
there's
coffee.
other things that we need to. I'm trying to emphasize this. There's like 1,000 other things we need to address way before we even get to any dilution. There's
What's
a
the number one thing
there's a
you think
there's
we
a
should
there's
address?
there's first family.
Oh, family.
It
Family is
don't
all about
family.
mixing. But
No,
if you,
no, 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 no,
uh-huh,
no, no, no.
uh-huh.
I'm talking about all the baby mamas and all the baby daddies out there that are in the black community.
Mhm.
It need to stop being baby mamas and baby daddies. We adopted those terms way too easily. It needs to be mothers and fathers.
And
It
may
needs
I
to
say
be
something
grandmothers and grandfathers,
to
and
Tyranny's
it needs
point
to be
though?
a family unit. And I'm talking
Hold on, hold
Yes,
on.
brother. You're long winded, but my bad. Go ahead, brother.
for real.
So you're saying we need to change our vocabulary.
Wow.
Not only the vocabulary, that's a part of it that comes with it in conjunction with that, but the family structure within the Black community needs to change. Then from there, finance needs to change in the way we look at finance.
Mm-hmm.
And then from finance and the family structure, then you grow generational wealth.
Right.
And with that, you do then in tangent with that, you do education.
But Jay, you do understand that there is only one race of people that's mostly in our way of doing that, right?
Us.
When it comes to the family, the Black
Us.
man is the only one that can create that.
No,
we cannot. We cannot ask y'all to marry us, right? So you guys, the man is what creates husband and wife, mother and father, and not baby daddy, baby mama. Then when it comes to education and finances, I heard Black people talk about we shouldn't get no reparations. So yeah, maybe we are in the way of our own blessing, but there are structures that's placed in our communities to make sure that we don't get what they got.
You're making a great point.
Okay, hold on, everybody. Did you all hit the like button when you came in? You need to hit the like button.
And like.
Super chat and like, please. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Otherwise, we got the stream that has to end at 9 o'clock, and that's in 12 minutes. Support. We have to have support in order to continue the conversation and continue to have these chats that we do every day. That's why I have to cut my week down, because I gotta have support. If I don't have support, I cannot continue to do the channels and the panels. This is a good channel and a good panel right now. So hit the like button, hit the chat button, support the shows, please. Now, Tierney, you were saying.
That's what I was saying. I'm just saying the man is the reason for the lack of family structure. Because you guys are horny, and then when it comes to everything else, education and etc., if we stop mulattoing, we'll have what we actually need. I feel like.
Tierney, do you remember what I said in the beginning? You remember what I said? What drives our culture? What part of us drives our culture?
I don't remember.
Our women drive our culture. When the women's criteria dropped and their standard dropped, they allowed the men's standard to drop. That's where the Pookie Ray Rays and Nug Nugs came from, and the baby mamas.
Steve Harvey told us to drop our standards. Do you remember a multi-millionaire told us to? You guys tell us we're paying too high.
Tyranny, you let him derail you.
Steve,
please let me say this. Let me please make one.
How am I derailing her?
I'll articulate it. Tyranny. With all due respect, I want to acknowledge a great point that you just made. You have to realize that when you speak about self-preservation within the Black community, it's futile or it's pointless having this discussion with Black men that have white wives, because they will deflect and derail to every other issue in the Black community other than the Black man's lack of ability to practice endogamy. Or in other words, to stay with the Black woman. He will bring up every other issue on earth, and I'm neutral. What he's saying actually benefits me because I'm a mulatto. Yeah, I'm neutral.
You wouldn't exist.
Exactly. That's why I say you benefit me by creating more mulattoes. So thank you, but you don't benefit the Blacks. But you don't benefit the Blacks though. Checkmate.
How do I not benefit Blacks? This is the topic. Let's get back to the topic. My son don't have to be Black.
Get back to the topic. Your son not Black like you.
I am. I'm the only man I need to. I'm the
that
only
means that you bred yourself out, brother.
For myself.
That means you bred yourself out.
When I'm gonna make my son a man, and my son's gonna be accountable.
And you bred the Black seed out.
I'm not responsible for Black seeds, fam.
You bred yourself out. That's Tyranny's point. You bred yourself out.
I didn't breed nothing out.
Yeah, I got you. You bred yourself out, bro. You bred yourself out. You mixed with the whites. You created mulattoes. Thank you. We need more niggas like you. Pardon my language. We need more Black.
Don't call me that. I'm not that. I'm a Black.
We need more like you.
But that's
all right, Black man.
It's also with the, when we do mix out, the man seed is really what goes financially. When you speak about finances, right? See, if I mix with a Caucasian, women, we don't give in the money. We're not the providers. The man is. So if a Black man and a Black woman get together, the Black man's finances is going into the Black community. But when a Black man and another race woman, whatever, doesn't matter, come together, he's giving his finances to that community. So that's
Exactly.
another way to build up our community, is to make sure it's going into our community.
He giving his money to that white woman. Keep it real.
Yo. Let me get in here 2 seconds. I gotta get out of here. Bro, you on this mixed breed, Dr. Umar ish. You being real disingenuous, disrespectful, cutting off everybody. You need to relax and respect the
Brother,
platform. I never.
pull your skirt
Hey, bro,
down,
I'm
brother.
still talking, dog.
Well,
I'm
pull your
still
skirt down,
talking.
brother.
I'm still talking. You so itchy to say something that you clearly got a chip. You clearly was getting a lot of wedgies in high school, and you got a
You
chip
said I was
against the
getting a lot
black
of
man.
women.
You clearly got a chip on your shoulder against the black man. And I understand it, but stop disrespecting
I
this
just bigged up the
panel.
black
The
man for
whole,
creating
bro,
more
I'm
mulattoes.
still talking. Can you stop? You so ready to, bro? Save that shit for the Logics and the Drakes who want to hear it. You over here, we
Well, you
talking
came up to
about
talk to me.
black culture. We talking about black culture. You
Uh,
disrespecting the host, the co-host, and everybody
Y'all
else who
talking about
keep
mulattoes, brother.
interrupting. You keep what, dude? Where's your community at? Where your cities at?
I'm
I
white.
don't. I don't
He
see
got
it.
mulatto.
I don't see it. Most mixed people I know say they black. So you got a
You
whole
got a
lot of work to
mulatto.
do.
Facts,
You got
facts,
a
facts.
whole lot of work to
but
do. Cause
he was.
Even Drake say he black. You got a
They
whole
lying to you.
every mixed person I know.
Mhm.
Drake calls himself black, and
They get
if
money.
you ain't black, wash that N word. And every mixed person I ever met in my life say they black, and they want to cling
They
to
do
the
it.
black side, and they try to prove
Yeah, he
that they
shouldn't have
black
said.
enough to black people, and we
He
don't
shouldn't
even
have said that N
care. We
word. I
don't
don't
But
even.
ask
he
him
just
nothing.
admitted that they're saying it for money.
Yeah, they
You
get money from you.
Bro, this dude
you
clearly got a chip on his shoulder for black people. I don't never get up here and get to
I
yelling at
love
nobody.
blacks.
You the most disrespectful, disingenuous, snake-like dude I've ever seen
You and
on
your
this
feelings.
panel.
what?
I ain't in nothing. I'm coming here to check you because I'm
Tyranny,
You
you
being
tired of
know, you
listening
emotional,
to
know,
the
brother.
tyranny. Come on
disrespect.
But
now.
I
Ty,
wish you would get off the panel and let a good organic conversation continue before
but
you got up here and
but
you talking about they derailing,
Uh,
you're
you,
derailing, you're
Yeah,
being
he
disrespectful,
derailed it.
you're being
you vent.
disingenuous, you trying to push this mixed breed forever, black people never bullshit ass agenda. You need to kick rocks and go get back in your platforms. For real. Respectfully,
okay, but
brother.
Jay, can he?
Respectfully, brother.
What
Get the fuck out
points
of
can
here.
you attack his points? What points is he
Yeah, he
saying that
emotional.
He
is
never
breathing?
attacked my points.
I'm not.
He tried
I'm
to
not emotional.
tyranny.
I'm irritated, and that's how I
Tyranny.
do.
He
Stop
tried to
saying I'm
Oh,
discredit
you and your
emotional.
me
feelings.
and my
Who
points.
are they feelings?
Tyranny. Did he
You up
not?
here
Because I
disrespecting and
have a white
derailing
wife.
the show. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Take your ass
Because I
back to
Stop
the
didn't
crying.
nation
I
of
didn't come.
mulatto. Go back to the nation of mulatto and
All right,
praise the
stop crying.
mulatto god or whatever the fuck you do.
Stop crying.
Okay, Jay,
Nigga,
Get
fuck
him,
I don't
Ty.
you,
think he was trying
mixed
to attack your
motherfucker.
wife. I think he was just
No, he
saying,
would no, I didn't say my wife. I said he was attacking me because I have a white wife and
No,
I have
I
mixed
bigged you
kids.
up for creating more mulattoes.
I'm talking to tyranny.
I
I'm
bigged you
talking
up.
to tyranny, bro. I'm talking to
All
tyranny,
right,
bro.
get out your feelings. Go ahead.
If you can say that all you want to. You're not gonna get under my skin, man. It's just, I mean, when people watch this, they're just gonna look at you and say, "Why don't this dude just shut up?" That's what they're gonna say. Because
Actually, the chat love it.
I'm trying to have a genuine conversation,
Okay.
right? And I'm asking tyranny, what did I say that was wrong about what needs to be fixed in the black community, the community that I came from? What did I say that was wrong?
no, I don't think you said anything that was wrong, but but you didn't say nothing that was wrong. If we talked about the solution, I think when he started talking about the solution, that's when it's like, oh, I don't agree with the solutions,
No, but
and
he's coming
Mhm.
from his like a very skewed perspective of only pan mulattoism.
So
We're not talking about
Mhm.
mulattoes on here, tyranny. We were
Okay.
talking the question is, can a black person be pro-black if they marry or have children outside of the race? We weren't talking about can a mulatto person be pro-black. That wasn't the question. Pan mulattoism came
You
in
live a pro mulatto lifestyle, brother.
and derailed the conversation. And the word mulatto has been said about 1,000 times since he came up. We're not talking about that. We're talking
And
about pro-black and in the black community. And you
Right.
asked me, tyranny, to think, and I said there's so many different things that need to happen before we even adjust race mixing that need to happen within the black community. And
Right.
Mr. Pan Mulatto tried to discredit me because he said, see, this is what brothers like this, they don't even deserve to talk about it because they married outside the race. That's what
it's the
he did.
truth.
So now this is his stance that I can't be pro-black and this is back to the topic. He's saying I can't be, this mixed race man is telling me I can't be pro-black because I married a white woman to have
You're
mixed
pro
race.
mulatto.
You see what I'm saying, Tyranny? So this is what we're talking about. So, okay, that's his stance. I don't agree with it, but
Your lifestyle proves it, brother.
So
you didn't make black kids, you made mulattoes.
My lifestyle, because he knows my entire
you made
lifestyle.
mulattoes.
Yeah, but he's a black man. It's not a matter of just because he made mixed children, that doesn't mean he can't be pro-black. He can still be proud to be black. What do you mean? You making it sound as though because
bro, my son is mixed.
Child,
he didn't reproduce himself though. He made more mulattoes.
I don't need to reproduce myself. I am
so that
me.
means he's pro mulatto.
No, hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. That does not mean you're pro mulatto. Does that mean you're pro mulatto? No, it doesn't. That it means you just had mixed children. Has nothing to do with pro mulatto, pro this, pro that. It would be a different story if you hated yourself and you mixed with different race, and then you said, I can't stand my race. I want to make some kids that ain't like me. That's not what Jay said. That's not what Tyranny said. So therefore, you can't say that at all. You don't.
I'm saying he increased the.
Hold on. Don't overtalk me. You cannot say that because Tyranny came up here specifically and said she is pro-black and she has mixed children. That has nothing to do with it. Jay came up here and said he's pro-black and they have mixed children. Just because a person has mixed children doesn't mean they're not proud to be who they are. You're making it seem as though these people are not proud of who they are. And then they just went out and made mixed children because they wanted to dilute their line, as you say. That's not the case.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they increased the mulatto population.
Hold on. That is what you're saying. You're saying
you're just going to lie on me?
Yeah, that is what you're saying. You said that.
That's not.
You said that. You said that. So that's what I'm listening to. You said that. They made mulatto. He's pro mulatto. Nobody said anything about being pro mulatto. Now, we have to have a discussion. It cannot be your thought processes that run over them. They have their own thought process. They understand how they feel, how they felt when they married somebody that was of a different race. They understand why they did that. That doesn't mean that we're pro anything other than what they are, which is pro-black. I get it. You think it's different. You are pro mulatto. Great. Be pro mulatto, sir. But don't put that branding on anybody else except yourself. That's it. Please. Thank you.
Brief, my response is, Jay, we'll use him for instance. Did he increase the mulatto population or the black population? With all due respect. Crickets, checkmate. The point is, Jay contributed to mulatto empowerment, whether he wants to admit it or not. He did not. He did not contribute to the black empowerment, the population increase of blacks. No, he did not. He chose to create more mulattoes, and I respect him for that. Keep up the great work.
Okay. I say okay. I'm okay, Jay. Hold on. I say okay to that, pan mulattoes. I say okay to that. What else is your response?
Yes, my response to you mischaracterizing me, or because it was a number.
No. What you said was Jay made or he contributed to more mulatto people. That's what you said, right? And I said, so how does that change him being black and being proud to be black? So
do you want me to answer that, or you gonna mute me?
I didn't mute you. I got you off mute right now.
Yeah, you definitely muted me, but I'll answer that. So he had the choice to procreate with a black woman to contribute to black empowerment. He chose not to. He chose a white woman to create mulatto babies and contribute to the mulatto empowerment. Much respect to him for that. He's increasing the power and the strength of my people group. So I
But
respect
I'm
him a lot for
saying,
that.
so,
So he could have done this for his own race, which is the blacks, but he chose not to.
but that doesn't mean he's not pro-black. How does that mean he's not pro-black?
Well, it means that he contributed to the empowerment of mulattoes more than the blacks.
Oh, absolutely, I get that. But why does
Yes,
that? What
yes.
does that have to do with him being not pro-black or pro-black?
So if the choice was to create more mulattoes or create more blacks, he chose to create more mulattoes. That means he was pro mulatto,
Yeah, but he had
respectfully.
the choice to do either or.
And he chose not to create more blacks, correct?
Yeah, but
All
he
right.
could also decide to make. He can also decide to go back and then make all black children.
My
And that
son
has yet
can
to
work.
and that has yet to be seen, correct?
But we don't know that. We don't know whether that could be the truth or not. It's
But he
see,
hasn't done it.
no, hold on,
Pan,
hold
do
on.
you have
So
Pan?
this
Do
is
you
what
have
you
children? Pan, do you
Yes,
have
brother.
children?
Yes. First intelligent
With
question you asked me.
okay, yeah, ad hominems. Okay.
Yes,
Do
yes.
you not realize what you're doing is very feminine? If I'm trying to have a genuine conversation with you and
Let's have a
ask you a
dialogue,
genuine
brother.
question,
Let's have a
but
dialogue.
you do the cutoff thing and you do the ad hominem stuff. You could take the
Well,
shots. I don't care. It's not going to get under my skin. But
all right,
I'm
so
still trying to have a
let's have a
genuine
dialogue.
conversation
What
with you.
what is your question? You said, do I
Do you
have
have
children?
children?
Yes. Let me shout my 3 kids out. They're adults
Is
now,
it
but yeah, much love to them.
is your the mother of your children, is she mulatto as well?
I have 3 children's mothers. I don't say baby mothers. That's such a disrespectful term. But all of my baby mothers are mulattoes. Much love to my
What?
mulatto baby mothers. I love them all.
Really?
Wow.
Are we being clowned
Wow.
right now?
What am
wait
I
a minute,
listening to?
hold
All right,
on,
he's
wait a minute,
trolling now.
wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna call you
Yes.
out. I think you're lying. I think you're lying. But then that's just
All
me.
right.
I think you're lying. You got 3 baby
All
mamas
right.
and they all mulatto. I think you're lying. My whole point is
Oh,
this. How would
all
you
right.
even come on here and say that? So the whole point, wait a minute.
He asked
Well,
me.
all right, all right. I'll
He
accept
asked
that.
me.
Look, I keep
All right.
forgetting. I keep forgetting this internet got all types of cuckoo birds on it. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Go ahead on, sir. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
yeah, yeah,
It's
brother. I'm
my fault.
listening. What's your question, though, brother? I'm listening.
That's it. That's the only question I had, man.
Yes, and not
Shout
only,
out to you and the baby.
and I'll lay my plane with this. Not only is all my children's mothers mulattoes, I moved my children's mothers and all 3 of my children. They grown now, but I moved them to a mulatto Wakanda. I raised them in Puerto Rico. All their teachers look just like them. All their classmates look just like them. This is a fact. When we go to the grocery market, everybody look like them.
So you really think you better than black people?
Well, who told you that?
I don't know. I'm asking now.
That might be your insecurity speaking. I say nothing about being better than
No, no
blacks. No.
insecurity here, honey. None,
All right.
none
So
whatsoever.
what would
None.
lead you to believe that?
I don't know. Just the way you talk.
And so if a black person said he
Just the way
moved
you
his
come across. I don't know. I don't know. It's just
well,
the way
but
you
let me
come
ask you.
across.
So let me ask you a question. If a black man said he moved his black baby's mothers and black children to a black city, does that mean he's better than that? Does that mean he believes he's better than mulattoes?
No, no, they
All
ain't
right
gonna
then.
say that.
So why would I
I'm
say that?
saying
That means I think I'm better
you.
than blacks.
I'm saying you
Yes, but what led you to that
come
though,
across
sis?
that. You come
No, I
across as
heard you,
that.
but I'm saying what led you to that conclusion?
I don't know. Just something about it.
Oh, all right, all right.
I'm just now. Now you starting to color in the background to me. You came up here to defend mixed race and
Yes, yes.
mulattoes.
Yeah, I stand up
Well,
for my people at all costs. Yes.
and my whole point is you speak with such authority and such reverence about mulattoes. I tend to think that
Yes.
maybe you think you're better than either one of your races.
Well, can I ask you, if a black person had reverence for the black
Breed
race,
or
does that
not
mean?
breed. Women. It comes across as you think you're a better breed or more distinguished breed or something to that effect.
No, I get your point.
Wrong. I could be wrong.
If a black man say he has reverence for the black race, does that mean that he thinks he's better than
And I would have
mulattoes?
said the same thing to him too.
All right. Well, I'm not responsible for, with all due respect, your ignorance. No, I just have
Ain't no
racial
ignorance
pride.
about it. I know where you at. I got you now.
Yes, I have racial pride and dignity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a superiority complex over anyone. No, I don't.
Mm,
But I
mm.
believe that it's best, and I wanted to touch this point earlier. I think it's best No, I know it's best from experience that mulattoes have mulatto communities to grow up in so that we don't have an identity crisis of trying to fit in with the blacks or the whites. No,
Well,
we are not either
had that
one.
problem. You're always gonna have that problem because there's never going to be enough of you all to go around like that.
In
There's
Puerto
never
Rico, it is, though. In Puerto Rico, it is, with all due respect.
Puerto Rico.
Yes, I live in Puerto Rico. Also, the Dominican Republic is a majority mulatto. You
Yeah, but
have nations.
ain't them like 3-4 blocks a piece long and big? I mean,
No,
what
actually, it's millions of people. I'm glad you asked that. It's millions of people in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. But also, you have
all
nations such
mixed
as.
like that? But then y'all get treated unfairly. Y'all get treated less than when you go to Puerto Rico.
Well, with all due respect, blacks can't tell mulattoes how we get treated. With all
No,
due
I'm
respect, you
saying
can't tell me how I
I
get
talk
treated.
to passport bro. I talk to passport bro. So I'm just saying what they say. Maybe it's a
I was
different
I
language.
was today years old when I found out that black and white equal Puerto Rican.
No, black and white equals mulatto, and the majority of Puerto Ricans are mulattoes. You have to educate yourself before you speak, brother. Respectfully.
Mm.
What you said to
Respectfully.
Puerto Rican? You said you called it the mulatto
You have to
Wakanda.
educate yourself before you speak, brother.
You
Wait,
said
wait, hold
I,
on.
I understand all the stuff you're saying. You just sound
Yes, you have to
very, I
educate
mean,
yourself,
just
brother.
weird, bro.
Exactly.
You
All right.
sound very
But
weird,
you
man.
created mulattoes, brother, so you agree with me, right?
Yeah,
We
sure.
have that in common, right?
As long as my son is nothing
He's
like
a
you, and
mulatto.
I
Yes,
raise him
he's
to
a
be
mulatto.
a real masculine
If your
man,
son was like me, he would have pride in being mulatto.
Mr.
Checkmate.
Malak, give me
Yes,
your final thoughts, sir. Final
yes, ma'am.
thoughts.
Much love to the panel. I love you all, and I want to big up Jay for creating more mulattoes and contributing to the mulatto empowerment and the global mulatto majority. And
free
thanks for
baby
having me
mama.
up. Much love to you all. Mulatto supremacy. Much
Thank you.
love, family.
Man, go get a vasectomy, please.
Jay.
HQ, that's your fault. That's your fault, HQ.
I thought there was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be. I don't know what the hell I thought it was gonna be, but
You be letting a lot of stuff go,
see, look,
man.
I told you, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting.
I found out last time God took my hair. What was
I
that dude's
keep,
name? That's why
yeah,
God took your hair.
right. I keep forgetting. There's always.
Oh.
Hey, all kinfolk ain't skin folk, or the skin folk ain't kinfolk. Look, and it's like, look, I get what you're saying. We get what you're saying. You just it's tunnel vision. It's got to be tunnel vision on his part. I kept trying to explain to him what you're talking about doesn't matter. We will be dust and bones
Dust in the
before any
wind.
of that happens. So we can't worry about that. We have other fish to fry first. Why worry about something that may or may not occur? He keeps saying, well, it's going to be a mixed nation. We're all going to be mixed. Okay, great, fine. It's not, I can't even worry about that because I'm not going to be here. So what about the situation right now? What side are you standing on? What are you doing? But it's always got to be something else. So I guess our fault, my fault. I thought it was going to be something else. It wasn't something else. Did you all hit the
I could
like
have told
button?
you that. I could have told you that an hour ago. HQ, when he came on, had his point. Okay, the mulatto. As soon as he started going into it, you say, okay, respectfully, we're talking about the black community right now. We're not talking about mulatto Wakanda. So I'm gonna just go ahead and drop you off the panel. Thank you for coming up.
That's wild.
That's it. Because we weren't talking about that.
I know.
I'm trying, like what our sister Natural KRC says. Solution based.
Wow.
I'm trying to be solution based.
Yes.
That's where a real leader comes from.
We're gonna have to have a conversation again. I think we should have this conversation on Wednesday again. But then this is when a lot of people came in today. But I'm talking about a lot of women, a lot of people on the conversation. Maybe a specific target. Maybe I don't know. Right? Send me an email. Maybe we can have this conversation again on Wednesday, but a different side of it.
We had a whole bunch of different numbers. We didn't even get. We got. I mean, you hit on number 6 a little bit, but
Yeah,
then
but I
we
didn't know
pretty
we
much
was going.
stayed on
First of
number
all, we got
1 the whole time.
first of all, we got Darrell, we got Tierney up here. Then we went down the rabbit hole of Raquel. Then we got this guy who jumped on and he was like, "Can we look?" That was a whole hour and a half. You believe that? That was half the show. Fooling with that. Fooling with that. But anyway, give me your final thoughts, sir, and I'll figure out what we can do again if we could actually have a different conversation.
Hey, first of all, love who you love, regardless. Right. Okay, because you only get one go at this, as far as we know. So love who you love,
Ain't that regardless. What I said? Ain't that what I
said? And for the brothers out there, I appreciate y'all brothers who love to stay in y'all masculine frame. Ty Pro, Lex, G Honda, Black America, Zeus, Aaron. When we get up here and we don't agree with each other, we don't over talk. I love y'all brothers, man. You can get up here and have a nice conversation without doing all the nonsense. I really appreciate that. Even though we have some heated discussions, everybody come back around and be like, you know what? I see what you're saying. I love that, man. I love y'all brothers.
And I
appreciate you, HQ.
I just want to say, me speaking, I wasn't speaking in terms of me or myself when it came to, I think her name was Crystal Luna. I think I was on a panel with her once or twice. And I understood where the crash out came. I think I was there when the crash out came that final time. I think I did, right? So I was just trying to articulate because we don't have her to articulate it. I made assumptions, I guess. I don't know. I can sort of see why. Not that it makes sense, but it's something there. I mean, it's something that needs to be explored. On their part, they need to explore why they feel that hostility, because it is a hostility. I can feel it. I felt it when I was on the panel. So I was just trying to articulate what that was on her part. And maybe she, at one particular point, she'll try to do it, make a conversation. I mean, that would be an interesting conversation. The women on Wednesday. Oh, wow. Yeah, let's okay. It was men up here and Tierney. Wednesday. Maybe it needs to be the women on the hot seat. Maybe we feel this way. Why do y'all feel this way? When y'all see a mixed lady do this, that, and the third, or whatever. Why do we have issues like that? But anyway, I got to come up with
that. And Divine Photos and Postman. I don't want to forget about y'all two brothers too.
Yes. Thank you all for coming up. Look, the channel needs support. We need more support than what we are getting. We need at least $20 per hour. We need $5 cash apps, $2 cash apps. We need all of these things in order to keep the show going. I have to cut down my week in order for us to continue doing the show. Otherwise, we cannot continue to do You Were Gaslighting. I don't know about that. Yes, these conversations are hard to have. We get it. We do. I thank you all for the 2 super chats I got. I got the Erica's Corner. Thank you. Supporting the show. Thank you, ma'am. $5. Thank you. And Jay's $13.99. Let's get it on. Thank you. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes and all that good stuff. Please come around. Tomorrow, we have tea day. Do they need a cup of coffee? Can they have a cup of coffee? And we have the noun game got solved by Mariah. Saturn 9, man. It got solved by that person. And the answer was Molly. So we have a new game coming out tomorrow, game 7. Y'all, please stay tuned for the game 7 tomorrow. That will be the headline tomorrow morning. Sometime I will make that one. But tune in tomorrow. Please Cash App, share. You guys got to turn your notifications on, so you will be notified when there's new content, a new show, a new whatever that comes down the pike. Please and thank you very much. Thank you all. Easy to have other than the host being biased against me. Pan-melodism. What is you talking about? What? Actually, this conversation was relatively easy to have other than the host being biased against me and muting me because you were talking. You kept talking. You would not let anybody else talk. You kept talking over me, and I hate when people talk over me because I had to say, hold on. But the whole point is, don't overtalk me, and I won't mute you. Can't overtalk other people, and I won't mute you. That's just it. We will have a similar discussion on Wednesday with the ladies. Hopefully similar, not the same, but similar on Wednesday. Turn on your notifications so you will be informed of what we have going on. We have the coffee show tomorrow. We have the mail show tomorrow. We have the married letters on Tuesday, I think. And then we have the women's show on Wednesday. So please tune in. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you guys. You know that.